You know, when a surgeon finishes an operation, that's not the end of the story, not even close. There's this whole hidden language working behind the scenes, a system that takes everything that happened in that OR and turns it into pure data. And today, we're going to crack open a really important update to that language. And trust me, it's like getting a sneak peek into the future of medicine.
I mean, how is that even possible, right? You take this incredibly complex, life-saving surgery, and you boil it all down to just one single line of code. It sounds crazy, but that's exactly what they do. And that one little line of data, oh, it's the key to everything, from how the hospital gets paid to whether we know if a cutting-edge new treatment is actually working.
So what is this secret language we keep talking about? Well, it's not as cloak and dagger as it sounds, but believe me, it is incredibly powerful. So let's pull back the curtain and get to know the system that's really the backbone of so much of modern healthcare. Okay, the official name is a bit of a mouthful. It's the International Classification of Diseases 10th Revision Procedure Coding System. Yeah, ICD-10-PCS for short. But the library catalog analogy is perfect. Think about it. If every procedure is a book, this system isn't just the card catalog. It's the super detailed, almost obsessive one that tells you the title, sure, but also the chapter, the paragraph, even the font it was written in. It's all about capturing every last detail with insane precision.
But here's the catch, right? Medicine never, ever stands still. Scientists and doctors are constantly coming up with new procedures, new gadgets, new therapies. So, just like any living language, this coding system has to evolve with it. It needs new words to describe all these incredible breakthroughs. Because if you can't describe it, you can't track it, you can't pay for it, and that's how medical progress can just grind to a halt.
And that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today. A really significant update has just been announced. And it's a big one, you guys. It's a perfect reflection of just how quickly medicine is rocketing into the future.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about 80. That's the number. 80 new procedure codes are being added to the system. And every single one of those codes, it's like a little flag planted on a new frontier of medicine. It's a new way of treating people that until now, we just didn't have the right words for.
And look, this isn't some maybe someday kind of thing. This all goes into effect on April 1st, 2026. So right now, hospitals and coders all over the country are getting ready to learn this brand new vocabulary.
So, you might be asking, what's so important that it needs 80 new codes? Well, just look at this list. We're talking about incredible stuff, like cardiovascular scaffolds that help the body rebuild itself, brand new biopharmaceuticals, embryonic stem cell therapies, super high-tech cardiac devices. This isn't just a boring list, folks. This is a snapshot of the absolute cutting edge of what's happening in medicine right now.
Okay, let's zoom in on a couple of these because this is where things start to sound like they're straight out of science fiction. There's a whole section in the codebook, Section X, that's just for new technology. And this April update, man, it is just packed with mind-blowing stuff.
All right, check this one out. The name is a mouthful. Autologous cell-seeded resorbable scaffold. Okay, let's break that down. Autologous means it uses the patient's own cells. They seed those cells onto this special scaffold. Then resorbable means that after it's put in the body to help things heal and rebuild, it just dissolves. The body absorbs it. Gone. I mean, come on. This is a huge, huge deal for regenerative medicine. And boom, this is what it's all about. That incredible piece of sci-fi tech we just talked about, it now has a name, a code. It's X2KG0FB. That string of letters and numbers tells the entire healthcare system, hey, we did a bypass on the hepatic vein and we used that amazing new dissolvable scaffold to do it. So specific.
Here's another one, lumenless defibrillation leads. Okay, so defibrillator leads are basically the wires running from the device to the heart. Lumenless just means it's a new, much smaller design. Now that might sound like a tiny detail, but think about it. In heart surgery, smaller tools are a game changer. It can mean less invasive procedures, people recovering faster. It's a big win for patients. And now, there's a code just for this better piece of tech.
Now this slide is a perfect example of just how ridiculously specific this system is. Okay, so we've got this new therapy, another long name, anatocobatagin autoleucocell. It's basically a living drug made from your own cells to fight disease. Super cool. But look, it has two different codes. Why? It all comes down to how it's given to the patient. If it goes into a smaller vein in your arm, it gets one code. If it goes into a bigger central vein, it gets a completely different one. And that detail, that tiny difference, is absolutely critical so researchers can figure out which way works best. Okay, so we've seen the cool tech and we've seen the weird-looking codes, but how does a doctor's note about a surgery actually become one of those codes? Let's connect the dots. We're going to walk through a real-world example from the operating room report to that final line of data.
All right, so put yourself in the shoes of a medical coder for a second. The surgeon's report from the OR lands on your desk, and this is what you're reading. Your eyes immediately scan for the keywords, right? You see open procedure, you see bypass, hepatic vein, and there it is, resorbable scaffold, seated with autologous cells. Okay, you've got your clues. Now the mission is to translate this story into a code.
So how do they do it? It's like cracking a code. Literally. Let's break it down, piece by piece. The first character is X, because this is new technology. The second is 2, for the cardiovascular system. K stands for the operation itself, a bypass. G tells us exactly where, the hepatic vein. And that last piece, F, that's the key. It identifies the tech as that specific resorbable scaffold. You snap all those pieces together, and what do you get? X2 KGOFF. The whole surgery, the whole story, right there in 7 characters.
Okay, so it's a clever system, we get it. But so what? Why does any of this actually matter? Why go through all this trouble for a few letters and numbers? Well, the impact of these little codes is way, way bigger than you might think. It's not just about paperwork.
It's really like a ripple effect. For starters, it's about money. A specific code means the hospital actually gets paid fairly for using these new and often very expensive technologies. That's crucial. It also makes doctors and surgeons way more precise in their notes, which is always good for patient care. And here's the big one. It creates a mountain of high-quality data. Researchers can then dig into that data and see what's actually working. And finally, it sends a clear message to innovators. If you build it, we can code it, we can track it, and we can pay for it. That's the fuel that drives the next generation of medical breakthroughs.
So these 80 new codes, they're giving us the language for the medicine of right now. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's coming next? What are the mind-blowing innovations just around the corner that we don't even have words for yet? Think about it. Nanobots hunting cancer cells, gene therapies that literally rewrite our biology, AI performing surgery, all of that, it's all going to need new codes. The future of medicine is coming fast, and every single step of the way, it will need to be translated into this secret language.